All right, guys. Sorry, little late today here. I don't know why. Just longer staff meeting. Usually got a 12 o'clock staff meeting. So just dealing with everything we're dealing with. But we had a nice week of practice. Obviously got three good days in, like we did last week, and continue to wait for results. But the preparation is the most important thing. Our kids have been locked in, focused. I think obviously, have questions in the back of their mind. Are we playing? Kind of like, I feel like it was kind of like it was in August, where our kids are, wondering what's going on, what's next, what's happening in 2020, like we all do. I think coaches and staff have the same thing, just like you're sitting there going, I wonder what's going to happen. And you see all these games canceled. I don't know how many, I think it was 14 prior to, or at least late last night. How many games are we at now? Any more additional? I haven't been on my phone. What's that?
15, I think.
15 now. So I mean, I think it went up one at least from last night. So, it's a touch and go deal, and we'll kind of play as we go. My job as a head football coach is to get our team prepared to play a football game, and our staff has done a great job of game planning and putting it out there, and our kids have done a great job of going out and working like they always do. So, we'll see how the results come out, and then we'll obviously wait on Friday's results as well. So we'll kind of go from there. So questions.
Pat, when they have those questions, what do you tell them?
We just kind of open up and tell them what we know. I mean, just tell them the truth. I mean, I don't know what they're going to come back with. If I had a crystal ball, and again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's like you don't know. We obviously hope we play, and we're prepared to do that.
Pat, do you worry that with all the uncertainty going on and all the other things kids are worrying about, taking away their focus away from football details?
Yeah, I think every coach in the country worries about that. I think we were pretty detailed with what we had today, and obviously the two previous days. So you worry about it. You start practice off like, hey, we're right here. It's 2 hours. This is all we're thinking about right now is getting better, getting 3% better. So that's kind of our focus.
Kind of a protocol question. The 10 days from the 10-day quarantine from the positive test. So with the Wednesday test last week, that's the 11th, and then this Saturday is the 21st. So players who tested, I guess, last Wednesday positive, would they be available on Saturday, or is it case by case?
Well, okay, let me just clarify. It is 10 days from either a test positive or symptoms. Okay, so I think if you're a mathematician, you're looking at a counter, which I don't have one in front of me, and you're counting days from, well, it sounds like maybe this is when the day was. I guess you really wouldn't know unless you're the doctor. And again, we get a positive, and then all of a sudden, have you felt anything? Well, I did have headaches, or I had this or that. Then you have to go based on that. So I guess it's hard just to look at a count and say, hey, the guy tested positive on this certain day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He'll be back on this date. Those are tough to make, and everybody's a little bit different. From the asymptomatic to the non-symptomatic, and we try to encourage, as soon as you have a symptom, like call Dale. Call the trainer, call Dr. Maris, and let us know, so at least we know. And again, we've had one person out in the entire week, and I won't get into anything, but we didn't think he had it. Okay, and we don't think he has it, but we've held him out the whole week until we can get him retested and find out. But he's like, we're not bringing someone into this bubble that could possibly be sick. So he did a great job saying, hey, I don't feel good. It was like, it didn't sound like COVID symptoms, but we don't know. And that's why I've encouraged our football team to get a flu shot. I think we got about 50% there. It's what worries me about this vaccine that everybody's excited about, is that, who's going to take it the first year. If I can't talk you into taking a flu shot, actually, how many guys on here got the flu shot? I got my flu shot. Let me see your hands. Jeff, what are you doing? Halfly. So, but if I can't talk Jeff into getting a flu shot, is he going to get
I'll get it.
If you've ever had the flu, you'll get the flu shot. And You know, but you know, so it's the same thing with you know, the COVID-19 vaccine. You know, I think, you know, we got to get people to take it too.
And Pat, based on those tests that were taken 2 Wednesdays ago, do you know who won't be available Saturday?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I got a pretty good idea. I got it. It's on my calendar. If you had my phone, I have Vicky put it on my calendar just so you know, you keep track of when they come back. I mean, you know, you just don't, you know, it's, again, we talk about it every day as a staff, and, you know, obviously every day we start off with just a training report, you know, injuries and then COVID issues, and talk about where they are, how they're feeling every day, and where we are and when the return date is.
With the guys that are out, I mean, how have the guys behind them kind of responded, knowing like, okay, this is my time this week?
They've responded well. They really have. You know, again, it's the next man up. You know, whether it's an ankle, shoulder, an elbow, or, you know, COVID-related issue. And I feel like, you know, I tell our guys sometimes, you know, my kids sometimes call me Dr. Dews, okay? But I am no doctor, and I'm just about had it answering doctor and COVID questions. But, you know, enough. When is this almost over?
Pat, have you gotten clarification with yesterday's
Hendon Hooker, did you say? He's a hell of a quarterback. He's a hell of a quarterback. Did you break up on me, Jerry?
You interrupted me.
What do you got? Sorry.
Do with
I
quarterback.
thought you were talking about Hooker.
Well, no. I'm yesterday. The Allegheny County Health Department came out and says competitors people have to wear masks while competing. Are college teams in Pitt exempt from that advisory?
You know, I've been busy trying to game plan, put a football team together, and organize practice and all that. I heard, you know, late last night, you know, Coach LaSalle texted me. You know, I don't know if I'd use the word exempt, but, you know, I'd probably refer to EJ to even respond. But I think, you know, if there was something we had to do different, I hope someone has called me or emailed me by now. And, you know, as of this moment, I don't have any extra emails. So, you know, the one thing I did hear is it was not a mandate. It was more of a suggestion. You know, I was next to my wife on the couch last night, and she's like, you know, should we be wearing our masks? So I was like, you know, I don't think so. Did they tell us we're supposed to? I hear all kinds of different stuff. So I really haven't watched the news. And I'm a news guy, but I haven't, you know.
Pat,
I know there's 250,000. I know that.
Pat, you faced a bunch of different mobile quarterbacks this year. And so what kind of separates Hooker from guys like King and Book and all those guys?
Yeah, they're all a little bit different. I mean, they all come in different shapes and sizes. You know, Hendon is a big guy. You know, I don't know what they list him as. Let me see here. I mean, it says he's 6'4". You know, that's what I remember him in the recruiting process. He's a tall, athletic, long-legged, you know, always going to stick his foot. He's not a spin guy at all. You know, he's going to bend over, you know, on inside runs. He's going to take off and try to race you to the edge, put his foot in the ground, and cut back on you. But they're all a little bit different. I mean, I think he's a complete quarterback. I really do. I think he can throw it very well. I think we're going to see a lot of fades in back shoulder fades. Probably could see some push off fades, you know, which would usually be the back shoulder, you know, give a two-hand and catch it back here. And so we've practiced that all week on big tight ends. I mean, Kmar has done a great job of just giving us a good look out there, just getting a bigger guy out there, just so you got someone leaning on you and trying to push so our guys can fight against some of the fades that they did against us a few years ago. So we're always, you know, concerned about that, especially because we're going to try to stop the run. And to stop the run, you better get your safeties involved. It's going to put those corners. You talk about one of the top run teams in the country. But Hendon can run the football. He can beat you with his legs, and he can beat you with his arm. I thought Travis down at Florida State could beat you with his feet more than his arm. And that's kind of really what happened. He threw 3 picks, but he could run. But I would say Travis was a better runner, like almost a tailback runner. This guy's a quarterback runner. I mean, he's 6'4", tall, you know, long strider. Sorry for that long answer.
You guys rank near the top in the conference and in the country, really, in red zone defense in terms of just allowing touchdowns. And what do you think has kind of been maybe the thread through that, or the reason for that, if there is one commonality down there in the red area?
You know what? I don't know what it is. Again, we'll look back after the year's over to really, we're not going to try to analyze something that's good. Usually we try to analyze the bad stuff. I kind of count, the balls across the 50, the sudden change stuff. And, I know we gave up 3, short field touchdowns against Miami. We gave up 3 against Notre Dame. And again, to me, I count those as, over to, across the 50-yard line. Those are red zone. So, I'm not worried about what we are in the red zone. I'm worried about making sure they don't score touchdowns and making sure we score more touchdowns than they do. All those stats in red zone, I don't even know what, does that count touchdowns, field goals? Who knows with the NCAA and some of the, different, metrics they use for some of those stats. Keep them out of the end zone. That's all we try to focus on. Play good defense, have eye control, play physical, and play with leverage.
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I was going to say, does Khalil Herbert remind you of a back you've faced in the recent past year, whether ACC or even in your time at Michigan State?
I'm bad with names and bad with remembering, the good tailbacks. But, he's a great football player. And, again, I guess I'll know more after we face him, Saturday. So I would say, wait to watch him because, whether, he kind of reminds you a little bit of Georgia Tech's back a year ago. Okay, which is one of the recent memories. He's the backup, was hurt. But everybody was talking about how great he was. And so we'll find out. I got a lot more respect after I watch him live, against our defense as opposed to watching him against someone else's structure on defense. So we'll find out. But he'll be a handful, that's for sure, because you're not only worried about him carrying the ball, but then you're worried about him blocking, for Hendon on runs, because he'll be a lead on a lot of the counters that they run, quarterback counters, quarterback powers. He'll be the lead back as well.
Defensively, Virginia Tech good at getting after the quarterback again. Are they bringing a lot of people to do it, or are they winning one-on-one battles? What do you see majority-wise?
They're winning, a lot of one-on-one battles, but they got their zone pressure package that they get into. So, to count up their 30 sacks, I'd probably say 20 of them are probably 4-man pressure. They just beat someone one-on-one. You watch Hewitt last week, number 25, who really wears jersey number 5, making plays. They had 7 sacks against Duke. You can kind of pick apart what they do, but, it's a little bit of, maybe it's 50-50. I didn't really count those up, but they get after the quarterback, and but they're definitely doing it with less man coverage than they did a year ago. So if they're blitzing, it's going to be more zone coverage as opposed to man coverage, unless they change, here in the week.
Pat, Patrick Jones is, he's about to enter in with maybe his final home game for you. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about what you've seen in his growth, both as a person, as a player. He said the biggest thing he grew on the field was that he diversified his pass rush moves and that he was able to win in different ways. What can you say about his development and what you've seen from coaching him through his career?
Yeah, there's the on the field and off the field, Chris, development. And, on the field is very easy to see because you can see it with, the video. You push rewind, go back, fast forward, go to the next play, rewind, watch it again, make a cut up of his development. And him and Coach Partridge done an outstanding job with developing his pass rush and teaching him new moves, new ways of doing it. When Patrick goes to the NFL, it's, they're going to look and say, wow, this guy's really coached up. It's going to be an instant guy that can go help someone right now because of, the arsenal of tools he has in his belt. But the thing I really see as well, and again, you can't go back and rewind it, it's just how he's grown as a person from his first year here to where he is today. He's a captain. We may not have said he's going to be a captain as a freshman, and he's just grown, and he's a leader. When he has an opportunity to talk to our football team, it's just different. He talked to our team today, in what we call our focus periods, which you guys in the past, you guys probably forgot. After we warm them up, they come together and, always had to let a leader, a captain, or an eagle, talk to our football team. But he's just come so far, and that's what we expect. We try to, recruit character guys, and he's a character. He's got character mom and dad, and then let them develop in every facet. It's not just a football coach. We're coaching him on the field and off the field. And that's, so he's made strides in both because he's coachable. He understands. He's yes, sir, no, sir. And he takes coaching on the field and off the field. And I won't get into different situations, but he's just done an incredible job. And he's one of those model guys that you go, I want my son to be just like Patrick Jones.
Pat, since it's been 2 weeks since he last played, have you seen some significant improvement health-wise for Kenny Pickett this week in practice?
Yeah, he's healthier. You know, is he 100% yet? Probably not. And you know, I really haven't had to ask him how he feels, but he's significantly better than he was against Florida State. You know, the extra week obviously, you know, helps everybody get healthy. But it certainly was beneficial for Kenny Pickett.
Any final questions for this session before we conclude?
Hey, Pat, just to clarify from Monday, is it your intention for Senior Day just to introduce all the seniors and then they'll make their decisions as they make them?
Yeah, I'm going to give you something here that EJ gave to me. Not really. And you said for Monday, did you say?
Yeah, from what you were talking about on Monday.
Oh, from what I was talking on Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I've talked to them all. You know, I'm going to give you, we've got 10 seniors right now. They're going to, you know, have Senior Day on Saturday. And I'm just going to give them to you, you know, of guys that I know. And again, here's the thing I would, you know, tell you. And I'm not going to tell you which ones, but of this 10 here that you're going to talk about, these are the guys we expect to move on to the next chapter of their life, whether it's real life or the NFL. But doesn't mean they can't change their mind from Saturday to, you know, that day that you declare for the draft or whatever it may be. I'm not sure what that date is anymore, but even if that is real anymore with the age we're in. And then if I give you 10 seniors, then the other 10 that I don't talk about, those are guys that can still make a decision afterwards to say, well, coach, I know I told you I was going to stay, but I think I'm going to leave. So these guys are guys that have told me they're going to stay. And then we've had other little conversations within that conversation that there's some reasons that they might, you know, the 10 guys I'm going to talk about are the guys that have told me that, hey, I'm probably gone, but they're going to evaluate the situation after 3 more games and kind of see where they are at that point. So it doesn't mean anything as far as whether they're in or out. Okay. So captain-wise, DeMar Hamlin is going to be out there for Senior Day. Kenny Pickett will be out there for Senior Day. Jimmy Morrissey and Patrick Jones. So our 4 captains will be out there for Senior Day. 6 other ones at Senior Day: DJ Turner, Jason Pinnock, Rashad Weaver, Phil Campbell, Bryce Hargrove, and Alex Kessman. So those guys will all go out for Senior Days. And again, I expect those guys to probably be moving on. However, they got time. And then again, the guys I am not talking about or have not mentioned their name, those are guys that have said, Coach, I want to come back for another year, but that doesn't mean they can't change their mind. So it's a fluid situation, as you can imagine. It's not like again, I guess the different thing this year is their eligibility is not up because they have a free year. So, but that's as clean as I can give you, which is a pretty good list of guys. And so I'm excited for these guys if they do move on, and I'm really excited to have the guys that are staying with us. I'm really excited to have those guys back for another year.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Got it, guys. Thanks.
We will
Say your prayers. Hope to see you on Saturday.